The Buddha avatar represents the transition from the lila of the world to the search for the great silence. In the life of Sushant Singh Rajput, this phase is the era of the internal singularity. It is the period where the star persona began to dissolve, replaced by a profound, meditative stillness and a search for the underlying reality of the universe. The Buddha is defined by his detachment from the world of labels, status, and material abundance. Sushant's version of this was his intellectual detachment from the industry's metrics of success. While he was at the peak of his career, his focus shifted inward. He didn't renounce his craft, but he renounced the ego of the craft. He stopped seeing himself as an actor and began seeing himself as an observer. He was more interested in the silence between the notes of a song or the space between the stars than in the noise of a film premiere. Like the Buddha, he realized that the external applause was a transient shadow, while the internal truth was the only constant worth pursuing. The Buddha taught the middle path, the balance between extreme indulgence and extreme asceticism. Sushant lived this balance by bridging the gap between ancient Vedic wisdom and modern quantum physics. He didn't see them as contradictory. He saw them as two different languages describing the same middle path of reality. He spent his nights in a state of dhyan, often through his telescope. For him, stargazing was a form of Buddhist mindfulness, a way to realize the shunyata of the ego in the face of the infinite. He was looking for the singularity, where the laws of the material world break down and the laws of the spirit begin. The lesser the preconceived ideas, the closer the observer gets to the truth of the observed. This is a purely Buddhist and quantum realization. To see the truth, one must first remove the self. Sushant understood that our biases and preconceived ideas act as a veil. By thinning that veil, he was trying to reach a state of pure consciousness. Like the Buddha sitting under the Bodhi tree, Sushant was obsessed with the now. He spoke about the now, not as a point in time, but as the only reality that exists. He wanted to observe the universe without the interference of the star persona, seeking a direct, unmediated connection with existence. Sushant's vipassana was his curiosity. He interrogated every aspect of his life, his emotions, his successes, and his fears with a scientific and philosophical detachment. He was known for his deep listening. When he spoke to people, he wasn't just hearing words, he was observing the energy and the frequency of the interaction. He had reached a stage where he was in the world, but not of it. He is a bodhisattva of the modern age, trying to share his awakening through his social media notes, encouraging everyone to look within and find their own internal singularity. The Buddha phase proves that the ultimate journey is the journey inward. By the end of this phase, Sushant had moved beyond the mastery of art to the mastery of the self. He had realized that the entire universe, the stars he watched through his telescope, and the atoms he studied in his books, was reflected within his own consciousness. This profound awakening and the dissolving of the self lead to the final, most mysterious archetype, Kalki, where the individual awakening becomes a global renaissance.